What's the difference between IoE and IoT? The Internet of Everything brings together people, process, data, and things to make network connections more relevant and valuable than ever before, turning information into actions that create new capabilities, richer experiences, and unique economic opportunity for business, individuals, and countries. IoE is based on the idea that in the future, internet connections will not be restricted to laptop or desktop computers and a handful of tablets, as in previous decades. Instead, machines will generally become smarter by having more access to data and expanded networking opportunities. IoT describes a world where just about anything can be connected and communicated in an intelligent fashion. IoE has four pillars: people, process, data, and things, which is built on top of IoT, one pillar that is things. In addition, IoE further advances the power of the internet to improve business and industry outcomes and ultimately make people's lives better by adding to the progress of IoT. Imagine a world in which everything is connected and packed with sensors. Cars looking for parking cause 40% of traffic in city centers. Parking sensors will tell your car where to find an open spot. Street lights and house lights will only turn on when you are nearby. Self driving cars and IoE will make all traffic a thing of the past. We will be the CEO of our own health. Wearables will be tracking our vitals constantly, allowing us and others to make better health decisions. What is DWDM? Dense wavelength division multiplexing is a technique for increasing the bandwidth of optical network communications. DWDM allows dozens of different data signals to be transmitted simultaneously over a single fiber. To keep the signals distinct, DWDM manipulates wavelengths of light to keep each signal within its own narrow band. Why DWDM? From both technical and economic perspectives, the ability to provide potential unlimited transmission capacity is the most obvious advantage of DWDM technology. DWDM's most compelling technical advantages can be summarized as follows: transparency, scalability, and dynamic provisioning. Two obvious applications are already in use: submarine cables and extending the lifetime of cables where all fibers are being used. For submarine cables, DWDM enhances the capacity without adding fibers, which create larger cables and bulkier and more complicated repeaters. What is MPLS? Multi-protocol label switching. MPLS is a protocol for speeding up and shaping network traffic flows. MPLS got its name because it works with the Internet Protocol IP, Asynchronous Transport Mode ATM, and Frame Relay Network protocols. Any of these protocols can be used to create an LSP. It was created in the late 1990s to avoid having routers waste time by having to stop and look up routing tables. MPLS allows most packets to be forwarded at layer 2, the switching level, rather than having to be passed up to layer 3, the routing level. Each packet gets labeled on entry into the service provider's network by the ingress router. All the subsequent routing switches perform packet forwarding based only on those labels. They never look as far as the IP header. Finally, the egress router removes the labels and forward the original IP package towards its final destination. The label determines which predetermined path the packet will follow. The which are called label switch path LSPs, allow service provider to decide ahead of time what will be the best way for certain types of traffic to flow within a private or public network. Service providers can use MPLS to improve quality of service by defining LSPs that can meet specific service level agreements on traffic latency, jitter, packet loss, and downtime. What is Looking Glass? A looking glass is a piece of software running on a web server that allows external users to get a look at routing and network behavior as it originates from the remote network. A looking glass accesses a remote router and performs either a ping, trace, or one of the several show commands, allowing a view of the IP and BGP route tables. The information is then returned as a web page. What are transponders? It is a wireless communications monitoring or control device that picks up and automatically responds to an incoming signal. The term is a contraction of the words transmitter and responder. This device functions by receiving a signal called an interrogator because it is effectively asking for information, then automatically conveying a radio wave at a predetermined frequency. These devices are still common today in both military and commercial aviation. They receive a signal from the ground and then automatically reply with an identification code for air traffic controllers, as well as the altitude information. What is Level 3? Level 3 is global network reliably and securely provides enhanced scalable network capabilities to address the increasingly complex operating environment of today's technology landscape. Level 3's communication main aim is to empower the network-enabled enterprise. With the right network, an enterprise can grow faster, operate more efficiently, while simultaneously keeping data safe and secure. What are the different modes of fiber? Optical fibers are the core component of fiber optics. Single mode fiber optic cable has a small diametral core that allows only one mode of light to propagate. Because of this, the number of light reflections created as light passes through the core decreases, lowering attenuation and creating the ability for the signal to travel faster. Multimode fiber optic cable has a large diametral core that allows multiple modes of light to propagate. Because of this, the number of light reflections created as the light passes through the core increases, creating the ability for more data to pass through at a given time. Because of the high dispersion and attenuation rate with this type of fiber, the quality of the signal is reduced over long distances. Advantages of using fiber optic cable are speed, bandwidth, distance, resistance, maintenance. What is public cloud? A public cloud is a form of standard cloud computing model in which a service provider makes resources such as application and storage available to the general public over the internet. Public cloud services may be free or offered as a pay per usage model. Benefits of using public cloud are ultimate scalability, cost effective, reliability, flexibility, location independence. What is private cloud? Private cloud offers hosted services to a limited number of people behind a firewall, so it minimizes the security concerns some organizations have around cloud. Private cloud also gives companies direct control over their data. What is AWS? Amazon Web Services is a comprehensive evolving cloud computing platform provided by Amazon.com. Web services are sometimes called cloud services or remote computing services. What is service provider? A service provider is a business that supplies expert care or specialized services rather than an actual product. The term is usually used for companies related to communications or technology such as mobile phone companies or internet service providers. Types of service providers are application service providers, network service providers, and internet service providers. What is a cloud provider? A cloud provider is a company that delivers cloud computing based services and solutions to businesses or individuals. This service organization may provide rented and provider managed virtual hardware, software, infrastructure, and other related services. Infrastructure as a service may include virtual servers, virtual storage, and virtual desktop computers. Software as a service, delivery of simple to complex software through the internet. Platform as a service is a combination of IaaS and SaaS delivered as a unified service. What is private peering? Private peering is performed by creating a direct physical connection using consisting of one or more 10GE fibers between two networks. The connection is made from only one network to another, for which we pay a set fee to the owner of the infrastructure that is used. What is public peering? Public peering is performed across a shared network called an Internet Exchange Point. Through an Internet Exchange Point, you can connect to many other peers using one or more physical connections. What are Tier 1 network, Tier 2 network, and Tier 3 network? Tier 1 ISPs are large national or international ISPs. They are directly connected to the internet backbone and can be considered part of the backbone itself. They have the highest speed connections and have very reliable networks. Tier 2 ISPs purchase their internet service from a Tier 1 ISP. Tier 2 ISPs tend to cover a specific region. They focus on business customers and have lower quality networks and slower access than Tier 1 ISPs. Tier 3 ISPs purchase their internet service from Tier 1 ISPs. What is the difference between bridge, switch, and a router? A router, like a switch, forwards packets based on addresses. Usually, routers use the IP address to forward packets, which allows the network to go across different protocols. Router forward packets based on software, while a switch layer 3, for example, forwards using hardware called application specific integrated circuits. A switch, when compared to bridge, has multiple ports. Switches can perform error checking before forwarding data, which are very efficient by not forwarding packets that error and out of forwarding good packets selectively to correct devices only. A bridge is a product that connects a local area network to another local area network that uses the same protocol, having a single incoming and outgoing port and filters traffic on the LAN by looking at the MAC address. What is the difference between OSPF and ISIS? OSPF, Open Shortest Path First, is a link state routing protocol that was developed as a replacement for the distant vector routing protocol RIP. OSPF is a classless routing protocol that uses the concept of areas for scalability. An integrated system is a router, and ISIS is the routing protocol that routes packets between intermediate systems. What is the difference between IGP and BGP? IGP is a distance vector routing protocol for routing multiple protocols across small and medium sized networks. It is a proprietary protocol. BGP is an exterior gateway protocol which is different from interior gateway protocol. The distinction is important since the term autonomous system is used with somewhat differently with protocols such as EIGRP than it is with BGP.